Swami's father sat gloomily, gazing at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose silently and tiptoed away to his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting up in her bed and remarked, "Boy, are you already feeling sleepy? Don't you want a story?" Swami made wild gesticulations to silence his granny, but that good lady saw nothing. So, Swami threw himself on his bed and pulled the blanket over his face. Granny said, "Don't cover your face. Are you really very sleepy?" Swami leant over and whispered, Please keep quiet, Granny. Don't talk to me, and don't let anyone call me, even if the house is on fire. If I don't sleep at once, I shall perhaps die." He turned over, curled, and snored under the blanket till he found his blanket pulled away. Presently father came and stood over him. "Swami, get up," he said. He looked like an apparition in the semi-darkness of the passage, which was lit by the cone of light from the hall. Swami stirred and groaned as if in sleep. Father said, "Get up, Swami." Granny pleaded, "Why do you disturb him?" "Get up, Swami," he said for the fourth time, and Swami got up. Father rolled up his bed, took it under his arm, and said, "Come with me." Swami looked at his granny, hesitated for a moment, and followed his father into the office room. On the way, he threw a look of appeal at his mother, and she said, "Why do you take him to the office room? He can sleep in the hall, I think." "I don't think so," father said, and Swami slunk behind him with bowed head. "Let me sleep in the hall, father," Swami pleaded. "Your office room is very dusty, and there may be scorpions behind your law books." "There are no scorpions, little fellow. Sleep on the bench if you like." "Can I have a lamp burning in the room?" "No. You must learn not to be afraid of darkness. It is only a question of habit. You must cultivate good habits." "Will you at least leave the door open?" "All right. But promise you will not roll up your bed and go to your granny's side at night. If you do it, mind you, I will make you the laughing stock of your school." Swami felt cut off from humanity. He was pained and angry. He didn't like the strain of cruelty he saw in his father's nature. He hated the newspaper for printing the tiger's story. He wished that the tiger hadn't spared the boy, who didn't appear to be a boy after all, but a monster. As the night advanced and the silence in the house deepened, his heart beat faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in all his life. How often had his chum Mani seen the devil in the banyan tree at his street end? And what about poor Munisami's father, who spat out blood because the devil near the river's edge slapped his cheek when he was returning home late one night? And so, on his thoughts continued. He was faint with fear. A ray of light from the street strayed in and cast shadows on the wall. Through the stillness, all kinds of noises reached his ears. The ticking of the clock, rustle of trees, snoring sounds, and some vague night insects humming. He covered himself so completely that he could hardly breathe. Every moment he expected the devils to come up to carry him away. There was the instance of his old friend in the 4th class who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by a ghost to Siam or Nepal. Swami hurriedly got up and spread his bed under the bench and crouched there. It seemed to be a much safer place, more compact and reassuring. He shut his eyes tight and encased himself in the blanket once again, and, unknown to himself, fell asleep, and in sleep was racked with nightmares. A tiger was chasing him, his feet stuck to the ground. He desperately tried to escape, but his feet would not move. The tiger was at his back, and he could hear its claws scratch the ground. Scratch, scratch, and then a light thud. Swami tried to open his eyes, but his eyelids would not open, and the nightmare continued. It threatened to continue forever. Swami groaned in despair. With a desperate effort, he opened his eyes. He put his hand out to feel his granny's presence at his side, as was his habit, but he only touched the wooden leg of the bench. And his lonely state came back to him. He sweated with fright. And now, what was this rustling? He moved to the edge of the bench and stared into the darkness. Something was moving down. He lay gazing at it in horror. His end had come. He realized that the devil would presently pull him out and tear him. And so, why should he wait? As it came nearer, he crawled out from under the bench, hugged it with all his might, and used his teeth on it like a mortal weapon. "Ayyo! Something has bitten me!" went forth an agonized, thundering cry, and was followed by a heavy tumbling and falling amidst furniture. In a moment, father, cook, and a servant came in, carrying light, and all three of them fell on the burglar, who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding ankle. Congratulations were showered on Swami next day.